I've noticed a lot of battles where people just lose. Outright just lose pretty much right as soon as the game starts. And there's multiple different factors that go into it. Obviously, it's not going to be easy, and obviously you got to work as a team. But there's 3 main things, not to sound like, hey guys, this is the 3 easy tips to win. No, it's still going to be hard. But this is something that is definitely going to help a lot. Because it's very, very, very easy. And it's very, very easy to implement them into how you're playing. Obviously, your team may not be compliant with it, but that's just how it's going to go. So, thing number 1, if you're a Thunderbolt, do not pick up the energy unless you absolutely have to. Unless you absolutely have to, because you are the slowest of the 3 tanks. Because how it's balanced is the Thunderbolt has the most durability, and it has the most hit points, and it has the best armor, and it has the best firepower. But it's way slower than a Resistor and definitely a Foudre. Likewise, the Foudre has usually the lowest damage output, but also is exceedingly faster than the other 2. And this year there's a boost where the timer gets extended 3 times as long for going over 50 kph and maintaining that speed. So with all that being said, you should just feed as many energy points as possible straight into the Foudre. And if you are a Thunderbolt, do not pick up the energy if there is any other capable tank nearby, because you are way slower, way easier to catch, and yes, you can take 2 hits, but that's a can, and we're not going to gamble on a can. We want to definitely make sure that we can just go. Likewise, tip number 2, make sure you have a Foudre. If you're playing in a platoon, definitely have one guy bring a Foudre. I like being the guy that's the Foudre because I'm one of those where it's, if you want to get it right, do it yourself kind of people. So, may as well just go for it. Obviously, there's no guarantee you're going to have a Foudre on your teams because a lot of people just look at it and think, this has the lowest damage output, why would I really bring this to a mode where we have to kill a lot of bots very quickly? And the reason is, it's not meant to really kill things this year. It's meant to just go, get as much energy as possible, and then get out. There's no guarantee that there will be a Foudre on your team, but it's very, 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 very convenient if you do have one, because you can just zip around the battlefield at literally over 100 kilometers an hour with the turbo active, quite comfortably. You can't handbrake turn, which is kind of annoying, but even still, definitely make sure you filter all the energy possible through to the Batchat, Foudre, whatever you want to call it, because that will be huge in terms of getting energy through to the spawns. And the 3rd tip, I cannot emphasize this enough. If the shield is down already, or the Waffenträger is right there, leave one bot alive. If the Waffenträger shield is down, or the Waffenträger is right in front of you, do not kill the last bot. Because if they pick it up, they regenerate about 3,500 hit points, or 3,000, I'm not sure the exact number. They get to teleport faster, and you just completely wasted an energy point. The other reason is because that guy is now going to constantly have in the back of his head that other energy spawn, because it'll be so easy for one tank to swoop in, get the piece of energy, and then get out. So that spawn, they're going to be worried about that spawn for the rest of the game. And if they aren't, then that's a free piece of energy that you can go get. It's almost foolproof. Again, if some random guy spawns right next to it in a Thunderbolt, grabs it, and then immediately gets killed by the Waffenträger, it doesn't help at all. But the Waffenträger cannot kill his own bots. So if there's a bot left on 60 hit points, the Waffenträger can't do anything about it. He has to wait for one of the Harriers to kill the bot for him. And if you just don't kill the bot, then that's never going to happen, and you're wasting his time, which is perfect. But I cannot stress this enough. If there's still time on the clock, the longest possible time you can have a piece of energy is about 2 minutes. About 2 minutes, not exactly, but just about 2 minutes. And his shield, if you kill another energy field and pick it up as like at the exact same time his shield goes down, his shield is down for 60 seconds. The generators go up after another 40. That's 100 seconds out of 120 seconds that you have. And when you go under 50 kilometers an hour, that drops from 20 seconds to 4 seconds, which is basically the time you need to get into the generator circle. Not counting how much time it takes for you to get up to speed, which is usually about 2 to 3 seconds, even with the turbo. So at best, you're going to have 2 seconds at the beginning and the end if you actually want to get the piece of energy as soon as the person's shield goes down. Do not do it. It's a complete waste of energy. It is a complete waste of energy. The only exception is if we are capping a zone and it's a for sure situation where you know we're going to cap out that zone, get the piece of energy from whatever other thing that's left, because all the sentinels explode right as soon as that last generator is capped out, and you get no energy for it. So if they're about to cap a generator and there's a guy left on 2 hit points, definitely do it, because it'll probably be worth it in the long run. The damage output is doubled when you have that. Resistors do 260, they'll do 520. Foudre does 300, they'll do 600, meaning a clip of about 3,000. It's not chump change for damage at all. The battle we've got going on in the background right now, we had a guy on our team who kept picking up the last piece of energy from the last bot over and over and over again and would not get to deliver it because the guy was driving a Thunderbolt. He would just go there, kill it, and then drive to the point and die on the point. And guess who got the energy? The Waffenträger, who was sitting there waiting for them. Do not do that. It will not work. If you time it right, it might work. But the vast majority of the time, people will kill they'll see 4 people sitting around one bot, and they'll just drive in and kill the one bot and take the piece of energy. There's a reason 4 people are sitting there around that one bot. Can you think of why that reason might be? It's because we have another 30 seconds of the shield being down, plus an extra 40 seconds of the generators having to reactivate. Or deactivate, I guess, considering we're damaging them. The only thing that can maintain a speed of 50 kph or higher is the Foudre. And if you pick up the energy as a Thunderbolt, or maybe even a Resistor, you could probably do it in a Resistor, but it's really not. It's not likely at all. But if you don't get it to a Foudre, you are almost guaranteeing that that piece of energy will go to waste. Plain and simple. Basically, and this is not a brag, but playing as the Foudre in random games, I can confidently say, has probably won the team at least 6 or 7 games, and I've played about 20. I've done like no damage in almost any of them except for one, and yet still I played a huge part in winning the game for the team, because you're not going to win without deactivating any of the shields. You can only deactivate the shields if you get the energy to the generator, and if you lose the energy somewhere in that time, you're never going to win. Which likewise is how you win as the Waffenträger. Just make sure the energy doesn't get to a generator. You can interrupt it on the way there, and if you know they're not going to make it, you can just let it die out and not have to spend time wasted on it. But that's basically what I've noticed in this mode. I keep seeing people go up and kill the last bot, and we've got 50 seconds left on his shield or whatever. It's a horrible, horrible idea, because now you've got this piece of energy that you need to stall for 1.5 minutes, and you only get at most 2 minutes. Only a Foudre can do that, and 9 times out of 10, they're not in a Foudre, because the Foudre has the lowest damage output in the game mode. So, if you see a Foudre around you and a piece of energy, communicate to them and tell them, hey, take this energy and just stay above 50 kph, because that will win you the game a lot more often than it may now. I'm not going to say it's a guarantee, because anything can lose. However, you have to make absolutely sure that you hit those generators with that energy, and if you don't get to do that, you're not going to win. And that's what you need to do for these missions in this event, is win. So hopefully this helps. Just wanted to spit this out, considering 2 reasons. One is because it is highly annoying seeing Thunderbolts take a piece of energy and they're 2,500 miles from the generator, and they're never going to make it there in time, but they're still going to run that 100-yard dash even though we know dang well they're not going to make it. The other reason is because people will find this useful. It's going to win you a lot more games than you may be winning right now, and that being said, I will probably make a guide on the Waffenträger, although I don't think people will really need it, because it's not that difficult to begin with.